Hi friend! I'm so excited to be reading with you today. Reading is so important, and it's also very fun. It helps our brain grow nice and strong, so it's good to try to read a little every day. Hop in something cozy, and let's get ready for story time. Let's read Courageous First Ladies Who Changed the World by Heili Poelman and Giovana Medeiros. Martha Washington. I have learned that the greater part of our misery or unhappiness is determined not by our circumstance, but by our disposition. Martha grew up working on a farm with 6 younger siblings. She learned that anything a boy could do, she could do too. During the Revolutionary War, Martha showed great courage. She came to winter camps, nursed sick soldiers, and brainstormed strategies. As the First Lady, Martha welcomed to her home anyone who wanted to discuss the new country. Abigail Adams. Remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Abigail's parents taught her to visit the sick, feed the hungry, and bring clothes to the cold. When Abigail married John Adams, she didn't know that one day she would be Mrs. President. Grateful for her big heart and smart mind, John regularly asked Abigail for ideas. She wanted women to have rights in their new country and taught her children to fight against slavery. Dolly Madison. Habit and hope are the crutches which support us through the vicissitudes of life. Dolly helped her mother run a boarding house to earn money. That's where she met James, who later became her husband and the President of the United States. Dolly loved discussing the needs of the country. What do you think about this? She'd asked. What should we do about that? She invited leaders to her home often and held the first inaugural ball. In 1812, when the White House was on fire, Dolly made sure an important portrait of George Washington was safe. Eleanor Roosevelt. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Eleanor was just 9 years old when she became an orphan and went to live with her grandmother. It was a lonely childhood with lots of time to think, but she studied hard and learned about all kinds of ideas. In her time as First Lady, Eleanor fought for fair pay, equal rights, good living conditions, and better treatment for workers. Some people say she was the most important First Lady in history. Jacqueline Kennedy. There are many little ways to enlarge your child's world. Love of books is the best of all. Jackie always had a gift with language. Her essays and poems were published in newspapers, and she could speak English, French, Spanish, and Italian. While in the White House, Jackie helped her husband write inspiring speeches to rally the country. Her love of the arts brought opera, dance, Shakespeare, and even the Mona Lisa to the Capitol. The American people loved Jackie's sense of style and elegance. Betty Ford. The search for human freedom can never be complete without freedom for women. Betty often went with her mother to help children who couldn't walk on their own. She learned a lot about how people should be treated. When she became First Lady, Betty fought for equal pay for everyone. She created a place for people who struggled with addictions. She also opened up about her own struggles with cancer, letting the country know it was okay to have weaknesses. Lady Bird Johnson. Where flowers bloom, so does hope. Claudia's nanny once said she was as pretty as a ladybird. The nickname stuck. One of Lady Bird's favorite things to do was paddle on a lake near her home. Lady Bird's love of the outdoors only grew. As First Lady, she was committed to making the capital beautiful. She planted millions of flowers along the roads and made sure areas with natural beauty and wildlife were kept safe for everyone to enjoy. Laura and Barbara Bush. Never lose sight of the fact that the most important yardstick of your success will be how you treat other people. Barbara spent many evenings reading together with her family. Her love of books came with her all the way to the White House. As First Lady, Barbara wanted every child to know how to read. Barbara's son George later became president like his dad. George's wife Laura followed Barbara's lead when she became First Lady. As a second-grade teacher and school librarian, Laura knew that teaching children could change the world. Hillary Clinton. It is past time for women to take their rightful place, side by side with men, in the rooms where the fates of people, where their children's and grandchildren's fates are decided. Hillary once saw a group collecting money for the poor. She made a backyard carnival for neighborhood kids and donated all the dimes and nickels she earned. As First Lady, Hillary argued for changes that would help women and children. She also became a state senator and Secretary of State. In 2016, Hillary came closer than any woman in history to becoming President of the United States. Michelle Obama. There are still many causes worth sacrificing for. So much history yet to be made. Michelle did so well in school, she was able to skip a grade and graduate early. She loved learning and was accepted to one of the best universities in the world, Princeton. Michelle was a lawyer when her husband, Barack, became the first African-American president in U.S. history. As First Lady, she focused on raising her 2 daughters and helping our country get fit. She championed exercise and healthy eating and planted the first White House garden. The end. See you next time.